What's up, everybody? We are ND Nation podcast, season 5, episode 14. You know what we got to do? We got to hit that intro. All right, here we go. So I got this fun little intro to bring to you guys. Episode number 14, season number 5, the We Are ND Nation podcast. I'm Evan J. Thomas. With me always is Dennis Stover. Today we have former Notre Dame wide receiver Matt Shelton. He is back again, joining us he was on our preseason show. So he was here.
Yeah.
He is also the author of this book, an amazing book that I've already been reading, rising through every fall. Matt Shelton. Definitely got to check that out.
Yes, sir.
But before we actually go into anything, I got a little announcement I have to make. You guys are going to love this. I will be in Atlanta this weekend.
Oh, you got the thing?
Media Day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All 3 days. So I will be there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I have not yet been approved for the game. I'm still waiting on that.
Oh.
But I've been holding on to this information since 12:30 and not been able to text you guys. It has not been easy.
Oh, that's great, man.
But yeah, go ahead.
So you got a room and everything? You're already going to be.
I don't know yet. This is why I kind of brought Matt on. I was going to talk to him a little bit about what's going on. He is actually going to be there this weekend too.
Yeah.
Bunch of people I know are already going to be there. I have not told anybody other than Heather, who's upstairs.
That's awesome, man.
Only she knows. And like I said, to hold it off from both of you since I heard it back at 12:30 today.
Are you going to be at the game, Matt? Are you going to go, Matt?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm going.
Yeah. I bet there's going to be
absolutely psyched.
I bet there's going to be a lot of alum going.
Oh, a ton. I'm already texting.
That's why I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So I got an intro for the show. I had to say the media announcement first. But so Notre Dame this past Thursday night had the game-winning 41-yard field goal travel through the uprights from Mitch Jeter's leg.
Micah.
Pardon?
Micah Jeter. Isn't it Micah Jeter?
That was Mitch Jeter.
Oh, okay.
As the Notre Dame Fighting Irish advanced to the national championship game this Monday, January 20th, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The first championship appearance since 2013, as the Irish are looking to win their first natty since that glorious 1988 season. How are you guys feeling after that game against Penn State? Holy shit, I'm going to start with Matt. Let's go with you first.
Oh, look, I am beyond excited. I mean, to see the resiliency of this team all year. And, you saw, if you watch the message boards on Facebook and whatever else during the game, first half, even Notre Dame fans were like, oh, we're outmatched. We're not going to win, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, they're back on the bandwagon and everybody's all happy again, right? And that's just classic football. Everyone does it. Everyone is just, if we're not killing them, we're not going to win, right? But that's Notre Dame. They know how to win in tough games. They've proven it all year. When it's come down to being a tough game, they prove that they can win it time and time again, even with injuries and the flu and whatever else is thrown at them. Somehow they keep rising above the situation.
Yeah.
Dennis, man, I mean, you called me like right away. We were obviously going back and forth during the game. You were kind of what Matt was saying early on in the game.
No. I get Matt. You have to agree with me. They looked a little tired in when they came out the gate.
Look, I thought the flu was going to kill.
That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying they were going to lose. Penn State their offensive line was pushing that defensive line around a little bit in the middle. Singleton was ripping off yards. I know you guys were watching the game. You can't sit there and tell me they weren't.
Yeah.
But whatever Marcus said at halftime, it was definitely a different team in the second half because they looked like the Notre Dame they did against Georgia and against Indiana, and obviously since the loss to NIU. I mean, let's face fact. I remember exactly what I said after that NIU loss, and that like Matt said, that is the ebb and flow of football. But that was a bad loss, and we all knew that if they lost another game, they would not be in the playoff. Yeah. So there's all this talk this week, all of a sudden, about the independency again. And I will go back and say, because there's a couple, all last season and maybe some of this season, I started going to that trend of maybe we should join a conference because I didn't know how this mega conference thing how it would play out. But obviously, I was completely wrong, and the deal that was one good thing that Swarbrick did at the end there is setting up Notre Dame, because everybody is stewing over the payday that Notre Dame's getting,
Oh my God.
and we don't have to share, So I was now that how I see how it works out, and it seems almost like maybe expansion has ruined, or not ruined, but taken away a little bit from the mighty SEC, and made it a level playing ground. So I guess I will go back to saying, Notre Dame right now should stay independent then, still. And it's funny that everybody goes back around, but I just wanted to say, because for a while there I was like, man, we're going to be on the outside looking in, but I was wrong.
Yeah. And obviously going into this playoff, you and I were basically just hoping to win a playoff game. Matt, in the preseason show,
said they're going all the way.
Yeah. You guys are doubters, not real fans. I'm a real fan.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, I would say you definitely are. You suited up, man.
Look, I knew we'd lose one. At the end of the day, I think it's just too long of a season to go undefeated. Very tough to do. Oregon, very impressive that they were able to do it, especially in joining a new conference and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They proved, it's a long-ass season, and sometimes you do get snake bit. Notre Dame got snake bit by NIU. Classic trap game. We weren't paying attention to them. We got our asses whooped, and that was a wake-up call.
It's something else to think that's our loss. Yeah. Because I remember, I think I picked A&M we'd lose to A&M and then run the table.
Yeah.
But it worked out great. I'll happily be wrong about all of that. But let's get back to the game and just talk about how about at one point in the game with, what is it, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go or something like that, you got your starting quarterback out, and then your starting left tackle out, and then your starting right guard is out. And so it's like at one point it's like we're playing all backup. So I just love, it just goes to show, like, the job Freeman has done recruiting. I know there's still some Kelly players in there sprinkled in there here and there, but the fact that how Marcus is recruited and the coach, how they've been coached up in such a short amount of time, I guarantee you Freeman didn't think he'd be playing for a national title in year 3 of him being a first-time head coach, and no doubt at Notre Dame.
The one thing I would stop you with right there is, let's not worry about the recruiting aspect, because it doesn't matter if you're a 1-star, 2-star, 5-star. It's all about development. Stars come in and they're not developed, and they had a flash in the pan in high school and they're not as great in college. It happens. And that's what's scary about paying these kids $14 million to go to Michigan and wherever else. They might be phenomenal in high school, but how do they develop? How do they get groomed into being an actual NFL caliber quarterback? We have no idea. So I think it's all about development. And you hit it on the head when you said Marcus Freeman develops guys, and he surrounds himself with coaches who know how to do the same damn thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Pay them all, whatever they want.
Oh, anything they want, just give it to them.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think every head coach, especially a young one, needs to do, is surround yourself with guys that have the ability to do your job, take your job, because they can guide you along the way. He's had a lot of help to get where he is, and I think he'd be the first to recognize he doesn't know everything, but he knows a lot, man.
He's definitely coached, especially in the playoffs. Like, it's like you'd think he'd be coaching, like he's been coaching head coach for 10 years or something with some of this. Like, it's unbelievable. It's just, I love this. I don't want to say, he's got big huevos now, and his spine is incredible, man. It's really awesome.
It's fun to watch.
It really, and there's something that this is, and no offense to your era of coach or whatnot, but this reminds me of Lou Holtz teams. Just like, you knew that at some point they were going to put their foot down and exert their will. Weiss never got that. Maybe in 05 and 06 a little bit, but not really. And I know Kelly was good, but he could never really win a big, cute game,
Well, if you look at it from Lou Holtz era to now, classic Notre Dame is to go out and play to the level of competition, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's keep the game close almost for TV ratings. That's what it felt like, even though I know they're not trying to do that.
Right.
When we played, we rarely put our foot on someone's throat when we were up a touchdown or two. I don't think we ever won 66-7 or whatever it was with Purdue. things like that.
Right. Like, teams you should dominate. Like,
and that's a mentality you need to have, and that comes from your head coach. And this guy is an absolute.
It's something. It's really something.
Yeah, the one thing I was looking at during the game, obviously there was a point where Notre Dame was down. They were not doing well. They were trying to come back. Riley Leonard goes out. He had the concussion. He got pulled out of the game. They pulled him off to the sideline. Steve Angeli comes in.
Peanut butter.
7
Yeah.
for 44 yards, gets him into position for a field goal. If you can't tell me that spot right there, him coming in, was, and I hate to use this term, a game changer, it was the game changer, I think, at that moment for Notre Dame. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but what do you guys say?
Yeah, go, Matt.
I agree with you 100%. A huge game changer. And if you look at the Texas Ohio State game, I think that's where Texas lost it. I think there should have been a special package for Arch Manning to come in and actually do something. You got to change the game up. You're going against the best defense in the country. You can't go in and do the same shit. You need to come in, do something a little different, have a little, not a gimmick, but a package for one of your most athletic guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Notre Dame needs to do the same thing. I think we need to have a special package for Angeli to come in. I think maybe we even start the game in 2-minute offense with someone, whether it's Leonard or Angeli. I think we come out
great idea.
Offense. Let's do something a little different than we've done all year. We haven't done it to start a game, I don't think.
I love that.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think we need to throw some little nuance in there, and I think we're messing up if we don't have a package because Steve Angeli has proved he's ready for the moment and he deserves to be in the field in some capacity. And I'm not saying he's going to go 6 for 7 and 66 yards again or whatever, but I'm saying he brings a different dimension to the game that Riley can do, but he hasn't proven to do it every single time. And every single time Angeli steps on the field, he makes plays.
He's just a natural. He's definitely a better thrower, more of a passer than Riley Leonard.
Not to take away from Riley
Leonard.
Leonard.
Not taking anything away from him.
He's really matured over this year with all of his abilities, his command of the offense, his command of the team, his respect to the team.
He's just he's not consistent in his throws. Would you say?
Yeah. You can tell sometimes it seems like he's trying to force it. It seems like he's he'll throw a little short,
he'll push it or something.
Exactly. It's not quite the touch pass you see from
him. He dropped a dime in the bucket to Aeneas Williams, right? On that drive after halftime. Beautiful throw.
Beautiful.
That was a great drive.
That's the thing with this kid is he's a gamer. Like it needs to be on the line for him to show up, and he shows the F up.
I mean, his running and stuff. He's tough. You know, his runs are great. Yeah. I would say that was a play, but then if you think about it, Evan, they were close to having a strip sack. And it was a good thing that Jagasaw fell on that or was able to wrestle that ball back.
Got one.
I would say for me, the change would be the second half in the run to Julian Love trucking 3 Penn States to get into the end.
Oh my God. Dude. That, and you even said too,
that effing run.
You talk about he wanted it. I mean, he ran over Carter.
4 of them.
4 dudes
with this robo break, stop and you hear Desmond before the games. Oh, I was going to pick Notre Dame because Jeremiah Love, but then I see the brace and he's not getting around. Well, man, he got around and he got through 4 of those defenders. So, yeah.
And he said he wasn't going to jump, but then he definitely jumped over.
And he hurled the guy.
He hurled another guy.
I love that. But that's the gamer inside of a guy that is coached by Marcus Freeman. He's a gamer. He's going to show up. He's going to do what he's got to do to win the game.
And
there's never. It's really they look like they're never down. Where like sometimes in the previous couple years, you could tell Freeman. Well, I guess he was getting out coached, or he was just like, shit, what do I do? But just there's something. It's one of those years where and you, Matt, playing football and everything, and where just everything is. You're catching all the breaks. Yeah. Not with injuries, though, but for some reason, again, there goes the development and the practice and just next man in and let's go. It's just it's really beautiful.
Football, in sports in general, you have to have the breaks. Luck has to go your way sometimes. That's just sports. You have to have, fortune favors the bold, though. That's why you take a lot of risks. And we were – what was it, 70-something% on third downs, something like that?
Yeah, we were bad third down all year.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are some lucky plays, lucky one-on-one matchups that happened. Maybe ref missed a hold. I don't know. Something like that. Just something that is fortunate that was missed or happened. We're getting some breaks far our way, and that hasn't been the story in Notre Dame's last.
I mean, one of the breaks
for a long time.
one of the breaks we got was Jaden Greathouse cuts when he caught that ball. I mean, he got the guy out of the break. He went down. Then he caught the ball.
Yeah.
And he put dude on his ass in like a second there and then moved.
it.
What I was going to say was after that drive that Angeli, where they got the field goal, went out, and then they brought Riley back in. What were your thoughts there on them bringing him back in? Because I wasn't sure that he might be ready because he was kind of slow to begin with right before that happened. And Angeli had that momentum. So it was like, I was like, oh my God, what do they do now? Are they really going to do anything? And then you see him just kind of put it on him. So, Matt, I want to hear your thoughts on that, bringing him back in right after all that.
It's not up to the coaches these days. These days, it's up to the medical staff, and you lean on them. If they say he's good to go, he's good to go. So I have full confidence that he had no cobwebs. He was fine. And he's been playing so well all year. You've got to put him back in. I thought, though, we would see Steve come back in, like I was saying, a little package to throw him in, change it up, because it was such a pivotal moment in the game to have him come in that situation and handle the big lights as he's proven he can do. I thought we were going to see him for at least a couple more plays, maybe a whole series, just to keep changing it up. But Riley just kept showing up, and his arm came alive as the game went on.
Yeah, Dennis, what do you say too? Sorry.
No. To that. I think. Well, if he wasn't, I would have to go with what Matt said. I think the medical. They got him in a tent right away and made. I'm sure they did the whole. Everything. He did look dazed. I mean, hell, Tyler Warren cracked his head on that one play going.
Oh yeah,
he was done.
And he looked done. And
I don't know how he came back a play later.
So I'm glad they're looking out. You don't ever want to, even no matter what team he plays for, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially a concussion like that. But if he was good to go, you gotta bring it back out. They're just playing good. And I love Angeli. And early on in the year, when I was like, we didn't need Leonard and we should have just had Angeli and this, that, and the other. I think what Matt's onto something with is against Ohio State. What's it gonna hurt if Denbrock came up with a package or two for Angeli?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, Ohio State's a load on defense, man. Their defense scares me more than their offense.
100%.
And I know everybody was like, Jeremiah Smith is running out of the building, and they're doing this, and he was. They were passing like crazy. But I think, again, Notre Dame's defense is no slouch.
Well, let's talk about that during the game because, I mean, obviously that last minute of the game where Christian Gray had that interception to kind of not seal it, but get them into position for that field goal. I mean, that was a game right there, obviously, for the momentum of everything. Dennis, when that happened, I mean, what were you thinking right before that kind of all came about? Because it was actually rolling.
Well, it was 24 to 24, and it was 40 seconds, 50 seconds, something like that left, right on the clock. Yeah. And they ran a play, right, the first play where they tried to get Warren, but they ran Aller out of bounds and
he threw it off. Or that was actually later. I'm sorry.
He sacked him. Well, not sacked him, but he was a couple yards short, right? And then they got a first down. Anyway, but everybody was making a thing like, oh, the interception was Aller because he threw the ball. If you look, as soon as he lets that ball go, there's someone in his face, so the pressure got to him. Don't sit there and tell me you made it to your third progression and you were trying to throw it at the feet of somebody. You're 6'5", you could throw it out of the fucking gymnasium. Throw the ball away, dude. Don't give me that. You were pressured, and the Notre Dame defender pressured you. It wasn't that I don't know what game sometimes these people watch, the experts. And I'm by far not an expert because I've been wrong a lot this year. But I know what game I've watched, and I'm like, are we watching the same game? And that's why I'm like, I see pressure from him. I didn't see he got to his third progression because they took away Warren, which the defense, they just come up and they play when they should, and those DBs have been doing it all year. And Christian Gray, just like USC, he made a good interception, and the refs want to take it away or something by making it. He clearly caught the ball. I mean, I guess you got to review it, but everybody knew it. So it was awesome. Christian Gray made the play, and he's doing what he's taught, and he was pressured, and he made an errant throw from the pressure. They want to make it. I don't. That's what I saw. So I thought it was great.
And it was the pressure, but also the coverage. His first two options were
gone.
up. I mean, they weren't options.
Erased.
At that point in time, if you've got to go across the field, you got to go to your back to your front side because he was throwing to the left, looking to the left, and then through to the right. You got to come all the way back to the right. Just throw it out of bounds. Know your situation, and that comes with time. He's still a young guy, right? He's still got 2 more years of eligibility, I think. So he's still young.
Something like that.
You got to think he's a 5-star guy. He's great. He's good. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
That's just the mistake you can't make going across field. Brett Favre can do it. Aaron Rodgers can do it. There are certain quarterbacks can do it because they've been successful, and you just got to live with it. But I don't think this guy's a gunslinger yet, as much as he wants to be. But he'll into one.
I mean, maybe next year he will be.
He might be. But look, you got to love it for a guy like Christian Gray. I mean, he had an early PI called on him in the game.
Yeah, right? That was kind of, it's like,
it is PI. It's fine. Sure. Is what it is. As a receiver, I think DBs are always holding and cheating. So maybe I'm not the best person to talk to. They're always cheating. But the short-term memory to be a defensive player is phenomenal because he had that play. Is so, pissed everyone off. He comes back, doesn't bother him, plays phenomenal the rest of the game, ends up with a huge pick.
Yep.
Runs the route better than the wide receiver, which has always been.
Yes.
Everyone's always like, oh, who's the most athletic person on the field? DBs, hands down. It's defensive backs. If they can beat me, a wide receiver who at that time was running 4.2, 4.3, if you can beat me to a spot and I know where I'm going and you don't know where I'm going, you're a phenomenal athlete. I mean, that's tough to do.
So you could say the same thing about Kaiser's interception because Kaiser, the one that was taken away for the PI, he was there at the ball. Like that should not have been a PI.
I disagree with you
because
I think they got it.
It was
right,
underthrown.
And it wasn't because of Kaiser. He didn't touch him. It was the other guy. I forget who it was.
Right. It was Schuler.
Schuler does hit him, which impedes his ability to touch it. If Schuler's got his head like this, no PI. But because he hits him,
I think Kaiser's getting there at the same time as the ball. Kaiser has a path to the ball too.
I hear you, but if the receiver is impeded by a DB who is physically hitting him at the time the ball is arriving, that's still a PI, even though the guy picking it off isn't the one creating the PI. So at the time, I was with you. I agreed 100%. And I was pissed. I was screaming at the refs how stupid, ignorant they are. And then I watched it a couple more times, and I was like, I can live with it. I'm not happy about it, but I can live with it.
It didn't hurt us, so, There was one stretch. Hey, man, I wanted to – because I was like, okay, so before there was that 2-minute stretch, right, where we had it, and it was 24-24.
Yeah.
I didn't like that stretch. I don't know what he was trying. It's like they were almost playing for overtime, and I didn't like that. I'm talking like before we gave the ball back and then before the Christian Gray interception. We had the ball. There was like 2 minutes to go, and we ended up giving it back to him with like
40 when we just ran the ball?
Yeah, and I was like, why aren't they going? It didn't seem like they were trying to go for a field goal. They had 2 minutes, 3 timeouts. I remember, Evan, I remember texting you, and I was like, I didn't like that series one bit at all. I didn't know I was like, what's going on?
I agree with you 100%. It is a little mind-boggling, but I think if you look at it from a coach's perspective, if you look at the second half, we started to find a running game, and we were running the ball extremely well. We were finding more short passes and finding holes. So I believe they felt that would continue, and we needed to bleed the clock so we could get that field goal. I think we were just trying to bleed clock, get to a field goal point so we can win the game with a field goal, not going for a touchdown. That's what I think was happening. And whether you like it or not is what it is,
But it didn't seem like they were even trying to go for a field. I'm talking about before the Christian Gray interception.
No, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking my thought process is they're bleeding clock. We found holes in the running game all second half. So I think we felt that we were in a good position to continue finding those holes. And they
didn't find the holes that time.
They didn't find the holes. Okay. We might have got a little conservative, but can you be mad at them to be?
No, it's just we'll paint it as this. We'll be the ultimate chumps and say, oh, he's crazy like a fox, and he knew Christian Gray was going to get the interception. It played right into their hands.
Classic.
So I was going to ask you guys, did you guys catch the stat that the Notre Dame DBs did not give up a reception to wide receiver?
Yeah.
None.
Not one wide receiver caught a pass.
Were Warren and then the running
backs.
That was it.
Awesome.
I mean, sick. Obviously, that's not going to happen against Ohio State, I don't see. But
that'd be nice, though. It'd be nice.
It would be nice. You can limit them to under 10 catches.
I mean there's a blueprint to, they're not the world beaters. They haven't. I mean, let's face facts. They lost to Michigan and they lost to Oregon early on. They're a beatable team. And Texas is getting ready to tie it. 21-21.
And
And
dude,
he fumbled.
33
So,
fumbled and took it the whole way.
so Texas had a game plan, and I'm not saying we have to follow that game plan, but
we need to steal from that game plan.
we can beat. They need to follow that Michigan game plan because the Michigan stopped them,
exactly,
stoned them.
Yeah,
just kind of copy that and just kind of.
So
the running game is what did it for Michigan at that time, and you just kind of throw in a little bit. It's basically what Notre Dame's already been running as it is this past year.
Yeah.
So you just kind of stick with that, but your defense has to hold up, not get injured. Obviously, no big plays. You notice we really haven't given up any big plays at all.
Yeah,
so,
we're bend but don't break type defense.
Yes,
you know.
I'm trying to think too. I don't remember any big plays at all.
One thing I'd love to see us do is steal from Texas those wheel routes from the running backs.
That's
where both the touchdowns came from. We need to do some of that stuff. We need to do some screenplay, some play action. Because the one thing you need to do is you need to slow down that front seven. That's the strength of their defense. The weakness on their defense are their DBs. One DB's been picked on all year. The other one's got like double-digit PIs. So that's why I think an Angeli type package makes a lot of sense. We need to slow them down somehow. And if Riley's arm isn't on fire, we need to have options. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that first half, Penn State felt like they were rushing 11. Like the whole they were in the backfield every time, and I was like, man, ND looks slow, but they came out firing. That 3 points at the end was a huge.
Yeah.
And the cool part about the playoff now is obviously in 2013 or 1988 or whatever, we weren't able to watch and react like we've been in these games because it's a fucking playoff game. It's not just, we're in the championship game, let's go from there. We actually get to enjoy the victory before going to it all. So that's kind of what I'm enjoying about this 12 playoff team. I'm even okay with 16. I don't know what Matt feels about that right now, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Look, I agree. I think we should expand it even more if we do anything. We should never go
really
back to what it was. Look, I'm okay with it, but if we're going to expand it and do more, we got to do less somewhere, right?
So yeah, because that's a lot of games for these cats.
Oh, it's a ton of games, but we can take away some early spring training type stuff. I don't know, but we can make it a little more NFL-esque. We're basically a feeder to the NFL anyways, right?
It's going to happen.
Now we're like a pro-am.
It's going to happen. It's collective bargaining.
Yeah, and then if you look at it, I mean, it's all about money too. I mean, they're making so much from commercials and TV and yada, yada, and the powers that be are seeing how much money they can make. So I think they're going to expand it eventually. And there's always going to be that conversation where you left out X, Y, and Z. They should have been in it. And I love that conversation about Bama and Ole Miss and all that.
It's nonsensical.
I think it's hilarious. Like, and everyone's like, the SEC is so big, they're cannibalizing themselves. Well, yeah, they are. But if you didn't lose to Arkansas and you didn't lose to Vandy, you would have been in. You lost to Vandy. How do you expect to be in 3 losses and 1 is Vandy? Yes, our loss looks bad because it's NIU, but it's at 2. We lost by 2. We just came off a high from Texas A&M. We are not looking at NIU, classic trap game, looking past them. But Vandy and Arkansas,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I don't – again, if Notre Dame would have had 2 losses still, and Bama would have got in – a 3-loss Bama would have got in over a 2-loss Notre Dame, which is ridiculous to me. But that's we don't have a margin of error, and I get – it is back to like the Lou Holtz days, and when you had to go undefeated to win. At least you can have room for error. Depending on the season, a 2-loss team could get in, depending on how our schedule is and how the rest of the teams play out. Because there's some of those years where there's teams that they're good, but they might have 2 losses.
Exactly. And these big super conferences they do cannibalize each other. Honestly, they're all so freaking good.
And NIL has made it an even playing field now. You know.
For sure.
And Bama and Georgia, they can't sit on 4 and 5 stars like 3 deep and gray shirt and whatever other color shirt they did or do. Because now those kids are playing. They can play,
Yeah, they don't have to sit and wait anymore. They can get out.
Yeah.
I forgot who I talked to the other day about this, and they're like, these 4 and 5 star players that are kind of jumping ship after one season going for the bag, a lot of these players back in the day, those 4 and 5 stars that weren't playing got stuck and weren't able to move anywhere. Now,
Exactly.
if they're not getting the playing time, they're getting the fuck out of there and they're trying to get their money. So I totally get where they're coming from. They have the opportunity elsewhere. Look at what Carson Beck just did. He's just went to Miami and took what is it, $4 million? I think I saw.
That's what I
He's
heard.
already at $10 million with the NIL on his deals. He wasn't going to make
Wow.
the first 2 years in the NFL, so why not take another year in college?
And he's making more money this coming year than I think 7 NFL quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, I know one
Get
was
out.
something like that.
Who's a Titans quarterback? They said he's
Will
only
Levis.
Levis. He's only making like $800,000.
Levis, Drake May, Daniels, all your rookies, obviously.
Wow.
Their base
So why
salaries
would
are
you
under
go
$1
to
million
the
or around
pros
it.
right now when you could get that bag for another year or two?
Yeah.
That's why these guys are staying there 5 years now.
I'm not mad at it.
No.
Look,
So-
the only thing that I have a concern with is I believe Tom Brady brought this up maybe on some podcast somewhere. Basically, the NFL has a grooming development issue. You're having a lot of guys that are bouncing around team to team. They're not getting developed. They're not becoming NFL type guys because they're not at places long enough to actually get the coaching and skills they need to be successful in the NFL. And when they get to the NFL, let's think about that. They're not happy with their coach. Oh, I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a transfer portal. I'm out of here. No, you're going to have some little brats that are pissed. They're not getting playing time, yada, yada, yada. They become cancers in the team. There's a lot of things down the road that coaches need to navigate, and we just don't know what those issues are going to be. But I could definitely see a lot of those things blowing up down the road when these guys expect to be starting. And it's like, no, you got to work. You don't have the skill set because you didn't develop it in college. So you got to develop it somewhere. I don't know where you develop it anymore.
I mean, Marcus has got something going for him because he's got. So it's funny. I think it was Plaxico Burress that made a joke. It's like Notre is like NFLU or something because we have Jerome Bettis' kid, Plaxico's kid, Ryan Clark's kid is there now,
Ryan.
and Urlacher's son.
Yeah.
And so it's like what's great is like these. I think with them being NFL dads, and so them wanting the best for their kid, they see that Marcus is a good coach and will guide their son or be good to their kid, getting them where they need to go. So this could, give Marcus Freeman whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I talking about Marcus. I got to tell you,
and the other coaches.
Just Marcus specifically. Every time he opens his mouth, I love him more.
Yeah,
he says the right thing in every situation. And I don't know how he does it because we've had coaches over the years that never seem to say the right thing.
You know who he's like a little bit? He's like whoever watching the show, I'm not going anywhere other than a charismatic figure. He's like Barack Obama. Is like he just comes on and it's going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a soothing calm about it. It's very natural.
And he can't go any other way because he's under the microscope.
It's
and
not
he has
fake.
to, and it's not fake at all.
It comes across so natural and real.
He's just awesome.
I bet you being recruited by him in your living room, he's talking to your mom and dad, and he can say nothing wrong. I mean, he just comes across charismatic that he cares because I actually think he does.
Yes. And he probably, I'll tell the kids like, this is, you may have to sit for a little bit and you're going to have to work. I'm sure a lot of coaches say that, and there's a lot of coaches speaking spiels, but he does seem to have a genuineness. And I like what he's been telling the kids. Like before the Georgia game, he was telling me he wanted him to be violent. Yeah. And then I guess there was this whole thing. And during the presser before the game, Franklin was going on about his hairline and saying this and that. And Marcus Freeman was nuts. I guess he went into the locker room and was out of his mind.
Bulletin board material. I love it.
And James Franklin is kind of a like I said before, as a Muppet. That guy, he might lose to this water bottle in a big game. And
ranked top 5 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But there's just something really genuine and charismatic about him, and he's like learned to coach and stuff. And I never once called for his head. He does have some really bad losses that, the Marshall loss and the NIU loss. It looked bad this year. But again, he's first year coach.
I got to stop you. The Marshall loss to me is not a bad loss.
No.
That's surprising. I know you're laughing.
Yeah, let me hear why. I want to hear this.
I get it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be, but that was the first year of the transfer portal. Nobody knew how it was going to work. And what you failed to realize is they had a lot of guys from Bama. They had a lot of 4- and 5-star guys that nobody knew they were on the team. And you didn't know that they would come together that fast. They came together fast. We were not expecting these 4- and 5-star guys. Their running back was, I think, a 5-star guy from Bama. You can't account for that if you don't even know what the transfer portal freaking is and what the rules are. And somebody shows up and he's third on the chart, but he has a phenomenal fall camp and rises number 1. You just don't know. So I give us a little asterisk on that loss. I don't think it's as bad as everyone thought it was at that time, because that's transfer.
Oh, when I was there, it was bad. So
no, I agree. I'm saying at the time, I was cursing. I was pissed. I was like, this team's terrible. But you look back on it, you had that realization. Oh, I didn't know they had this. Oh, I didn't know they had that guy. How did they get there? You know?
Okay. See, I never looked into the players, and then if you think about it, the next week they played, wasn't it Cal? And they almost lost again on that last Hail Mary. That landed on the wide receiver laying in the end zone and got pulled out.
That's
that
right.
was that game too. So it was like, okay, I was at 2 really bad losses.
You were the bad luck. Got it.
Yeah, but
don't go to the national championship game. Stay home.
You know what? Don't go. And I gotta say,
one of the other games this year where they won. Come on.
I gotta say,
look,
I think
I went to the NIU game this year, and I still went back to 4 other games. We did.
Yeah.
See,
I think I want Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy to call a game, because they've called every Notre Dame game in the playoff.
It's like
fuck Herb Street and Fowler.
And Pat McAfee has to pick against Notre Dame also.
Who?
Pat McAfee has to
every time.
He cannot pick us. Lee has to have our back. Pat needs to bet against us, please.
Yeah, I hope he does, man.
He will. They all will. Most of them.
I'm sure all of them. Oh, they're gonna take. They're going to take it. Like, I guarantee you, Desmond is going to take her, all of them are going to take Ohio State by like 17.
Yeah.
Double digits.
They're going to rattle off Notre Dame's great season, but injuries and the flu and yada yada. Ohio State.
That's Marcus coached well. Ohio State. I love Jeremiah Love, but Ohio State's going to kill him. Classic. Notre Dame defense has been great. They only give up 13.6.
And that's fine. We won.
Ohio State's going to. Oh no, I absolutely. I love that we're 9.5 points right now. Underdog.
I love it because that's bulletin board material. And if you think that those guys on that team don't know that they're underdogs, and Marcus hasn't preached that already, then
underdogs all year. Show them the NIU game. Show them the other games.
They're going to show them last year's conversation with Lou Holtz and how Dave was like, "Where's Lou now?" I mean, that's going to be postered.
Just for men. Old Ryan, just for men day.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what? My friend Kevin called him. He's like, because he looks like a supervillain with this fake black beard, and he called him Hulk Hogan from the NWO era.
hey, motherfucker.
It is. It's so bad. It's so bad.
What is wrong with the Hogan look?
I can't take the just for men. You're more like Scott Steiner.
That makes sense. Oh, man. Matt, dude, it's been awesome having you on. We're not going to do any predictions. I think it's way too early. I mean, unless you want to. I don't know.
I mean, this was a recap show, but if
this was a recap show, so I'm not going to worry about anything. You know what? How about this, Matt? You and I, when I'm down in Atlanta this weekend, we will meet up. You and I could do a quick little one-on-one and do predictions.
I'm down.
Yeah. So you're going to be at the game, Evan? You are going to be at the game, or you don't know yet?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I said, I just found this out, and then I was running around all day trying to look up the logistics of it all, what I'm going to be covering. I'm going to be at least there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So if I'm there Monday, as of right now, I'm not going to the game. But there obviously has got to be somewhere I can watch.
But if you don't get the press pass, are you going to try to get a ticket? No. Yeah.
There's a game watch at some taco bar north of downtown. This is
why I'm going to be talking to you very soon about this whole trip and seeing what I'm doing and where I can go. So I know I'll probably be staying in the media hotel, which is the probably shouldn't say it, so I'm not going to do that right now.
Don't say it.
That's the last thing I need is that to come back at me saying, "Oh, holy shit, you just
take away his pass."
Yeah.
So, there's a media hotel which is close. I mean, there's like a media party the night before. What is it? Friday or Sunday night? I think it is.
That's awesome.
I think media has a thing all day, every day, as far as Notre Dame has it posted somewhere. I won't say.
That's so cool.
There's a whole bunch of events that I keep seeing here, and I'm just going crazy on what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Julian just messaged me. He said, am I out at Harp and Fiddle on Monday, which is a Notre Dame bar out here, which I was supposed to go to? Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, you're not going.
I mean, I'm going to be in Atlanta. I'm going to be there for a few days. I just got to figure out where I'm going to.
That'll be great though if you know when they win, you'll be able to celebrate there. That's cool.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if they do win, then I will be there Tuesday morning for the championship press conference as well, which is at 9 a.m.
Nice.
Oh, they would stay overnight. They're not going to come back to South Bend.
That it shows on the itinerary there is a championship coach thing Sunday morning.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
Well, potentially the team would go back. Coaches may stay, right? Like,
okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
we're going to championship. I don't know how it works.
I mean, South Bend is going to be bananas.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
For them to land, and I bet that airport. Oh God, that would have. I'm giddy. I haven't been this happy in years. I mean, honestly, it's been
88.
Yeah, it might have been that long, man. Honestly, I mean, I know we played for it in 12, but you and I both know we didn't have a shot at winning that game, and it was cool making it to the playoffs. But again, those teams weren't going to beat Clemson and Bama those years. Just, those playoff teams, they were good. 2018 was great, 12-0, but there was no way we were going to go any further.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is
different team, different coach, different mentality.
It's really something.
Yeah,
we're right there.
There's no more of that talk. Notre Dame looks slower. Notre Dame's not big. Notre Dame, they are.
Yeah.
They are. It's like when I was a kid watching them, and it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. So
yeah.
Again, Matt, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, Matt, thank you.
Right here.
Thanks, guys.
Pledging through every fall. Make sure you get it. You can get it on his website. Matt, where can you get it? I know there's a website for this, right?
Yeah, risingthrougheveryfall.com, where I autograph it and get it sent out to you, or we can go to amazon.com and check it out there.
Nice.
It's amazing, and I got mine autographed by Matt, so
Excellent.
I mean, how can you go wrong not getting this book? There's so many awesome stories in it. I don't know how far. I'm at least. Okay, I'm 3 pages in. No, I'm kidding. I'm at the 5th chapter right now, so that's how far I've gotten. And
I love it. Look, you got some fun to go.
Yeah,
there's some stuff in there that resonates with me and what I went through too. So I appreciate you putting it out there and what you dealt with. Because I think I told you when I was reading it, I messaged you and I was like, dude, I kind of went through something similar to this too. So yeah, it was pretty damn good, man. So yeah, definitely pick one up if you can.
The arc is football, but the story is all of us. I mean, everyone goes through dark times, goes through upsets and injuries and setbacks. And it's about getting through it and rising through that fall. You're gonna stumble in life. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And I will be reaching out to you very shortly and talking to you. So if you have time tonight, I'm gonna call you in a little bit.
Sounds good, buddy.
And then we could talk. But Dennis, thank you for being here as always. You and I do. We're probably going to jump on a few more times this week and at least shoot the shit. I'm going to try to get some more guests, see what we can do to get other people on and just kind of talk about the game real quick.
Well, so we are going to do a show, Ohio State
We're going to have
show.
to, yes.
Okay, a natty show.
So we're going to have a natty preview show, and then I'm actually going to try to get Lisa Kelly on that one since she's also going to be in Atlanta. So I told her I'll be reaching out and go from there. But
just think, gents, a week from today, they'll be kicking off right about now.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm gonna be on pins and needles, man. That is for sure.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it, man.
1 week from
playing for a natty. This they got to give me another one, man. Just one more, please.
Yeah, we're in our late 40s, early 50s, so we got to get it.
Yeah.
We're right there. Yeah. But again, thank you, Matt, for
Thank you, Matt, so much.
Check out his book, Dennis Stover. I'm Evan J. Thomas. This is the We Are ND Nation podcast. You can follow us everywhere and follow us on the socials this week for my stuff in Atlanta. So that'll be fucking amazing. But yes, thank you. And then Julian for messaging everybody that was watching. I think this was the most people we had watching so far.
Oh, sweet.
I think we had 6 at one point. So
Yes!
Nailed it.
Yes!
It's like tripled what we normally get.
That's great,
I'm
man.
excited
That's great.
about that.
I'm very excited about the 6.
Gentlemen, you guys know yourselves, and you know what we say before we go out.
Go Irish.
Go Irish.